Hola amigos, my name is Oscar, and in today's Service Your Motorcycle series, I'll be showing you how to change the oil and oil filter in your motorcycle. In our case, as usual, we'll be servicing our Triumph Bonneville T100. This is one of those cases in which you can save some dollar bills by getting your hands dirty. So let's do it!
The person I bought this bunny from did not make the service quite often, or at least often enough, and therefore did not change the oil in quite a while. This is why we need to take care of this right away. I've seen that the oil level is slightly low, and this is not good for the bike since oil, and here comes today's analogy, is the motorcycle's blood. It lubricates, cleans, seals, protects against corrosion, reduces noise, and helps cooling the entire machinery. We have previously ridden the bike for some minutes, warming the oil up and making it therefore more liquidy and runny. This will come in hand when draining it. We'll need to have the bike in an upstand position. This is why, if you don't have a center stand, you can go ahead and place a piece of 2x4 under your side stand. This way, the bike will rest upright. In our case, we will be using the center stand, since we have it. This process should not take longer than an hour, but it's not the time that tends to keep people away from changing the oil themselves. It's the mess. This is why the first thing we're gonna need is an oil pan. We will place it under the bike and get ready to milk the cow. The oil drain plug is located at the bottom front part of the bunny. To unscrew it, I'll use my bunny ratchet wrench. What are the odds? And a number 14 socket. But beware, once it starts coming loose, the oil will flush out like a torrent. This bolt was pretty tight. Let's have a look from a frontal perspective. Now, I'll finish unscrewing it by hand. And there we go. The pitch black fountain is open. Now, let it drain for some minutes to make sure we get out as much dirty oil as we possibly can. You should also open the filler plug so that there are no unwanted vacuum effects and the oil flows smoothly out of the bike. Let's speed this up since it takes a good 10 minutes to drain all the oil from the engine. While the one drain is pouring, we can shift our focus to the filter. The filter on this bike does not come with a welded nut, but it does have a 1465 tetradecagon shape for which I bought the specific socket. Too bad at this moment I realized that I did not have the adapter you need to use this socket, so I had to take out the big guns. The good old chain wrench. It will wrap around anything and make it twist or break in half during the process. Once it comes loose, a good amount of oil will be coming out with it, so keep that in mind. We can now let it drain for a couple of minutes while we prepare our next step. Get the new oil filter. In our case, we got the same aftermarket oil filter from High Flow, H204. And now for the oil. We'll use a 10W40 semi-synthetic 4T oil to refill this pony. You could also use a fully synthetic oil if you prefer, or a 10W50. In our case, we are using Motul, although in Triumph specs they state that Castrol oil is preferred. But Motul is also a top-notch brand and I'm pretty sure it'll do just as good. We'll first top the filter up with the oil of choice. Wait for a couple of seconds and you'll see how the oil soaks into the filter and frees new space for you to keep on pouring. Once it's topped up, get a tiny bit of it and oil the top ring part of the filter before you screw it back in. Now we are ready to mount. Screw it back by hand where you found it, and once you feel like the gasket is closed, you can get your torque wrench and tighten it to 10 Newton meters. But since we can't use the all-time famous 1465 tetradecagon socket to install it, we will go with the plan B, which is a good enough alternative. Once you see or feel like the gasket has made contact with the bike, you need to give it an extra turn. This is the reason the oil filter has numbers written on it. Now let's aim at the oil drain plug. It came out with a copper washer that should be replaced every time you change your oil, so we'll do that. It could be aluminum or copper. We'll use a copper one, 1420 1.5 millimeters. Screw it back with a tightening torque of 25 Newton meters. We don't want this one to open up by accident while we're riding. Now that the drains are closed, we can finally start filling up the bike. With the help of a funnel, we'll pour the new oil until we see it reach the max level through the side glass. This first pour will take most part of the container. We can now close the filler plug, start the engine and allow it to idle for a minimum of 30 seconds. Don't rev it at this stage. Once the time has passed and the oil has moved around the chambers, filling them up again, go ahead and turn off the ignition. Check the oil level. You'll see that it has dropped again. Top off to between the minimum and maximum level lines in the side glass. And that's about it. According to the manual specs, for an oil and filter change, we would be needing 3.8 liters. Since the oil level was a bit low, I poured 200 ml in the bike a couple of days ago, until I would have time to change it, so we'll probably be using all what's left in the container. The only thing left is to pour the old oil you collected in the pan back into the oil container. If your funnel has a filter, you'll be able to see the debris, insects, and leaves that were inside the engine. Good that we took them out of there. To finish, mark the container as used oil and take it back to the place or garage where you bought the new one. They'll bring it to a recycling plant for you. 600 liters of water are needed in order to dissolve one single drop of oil, so let's try to keep the environment clean and manage our residues the right way. It's free.
I hope I could make your life a little bit easier by talking you through the process of how to change your motorcycle oil. Really guys, this is no rocket science, so next time give it a try. And with the money you save, you can take your partner out for a drink. Isn't that great? Now, don't forget to subscribe if you don't want to miss our next Service Your Motorcycle video. Until then, adios!